How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with the tiniest beer in the world. Well, maybe not tiniest, but super tiny, super cute. I kind of want to talk in a higher octave for this one. In the form of St. Errant Brewing, it is their Sweet Shadow. This is an Imperial Stout with maple syrup, coffee, and cinnamons. Yeah, look at that sucker. Super tiny little fatty jam. I've seen breweries do these before. Interborough out this way, I believe, does this quite a bit, and this is my first time reviewing one of these suckers. It's fun. I feel like now I know what it feels like to be Andre the Giant. Or whoever. I don't know. I was going to make a bad joke there. Anyway, Andre the Giant. Yeah. This comes courtesy of Chuck. He sent me off a box of delicious Illinois-based goodness, and this is the one that probably tickled me pink the most about it because it was just a tiny little can. I'm simple, man. Just jingle the shiny shit in front of me and I'm happy. Does it have anything else on here? It's 11%. Store cold, drink fresh. Tugboat coffee, and artwork by Hugo Trejo. Yeah, it's instead of a three-eyed raven, you have a three-eyed lion. So it's someone's kind of ripping off Game of Thrones. There you go. Hey, overcarbonated. Yeah, and honestly, it's like, you know, I'm not going to get pissed at that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I can imagine how hard it probably is to get carbonation right on these tiny little fucking cans. I don't know if this is the first time. See, mystery beers? That's why you should send me mystery beers, not just because you like watching them, just so I have materials to clean up stuff. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put it right there. And, but yeah. I would imagine it's super hard to get a carbonation right on these things. So it being overcarbonated, who gives a shit? Anyway, you know, 3 fingers of an overcarbonated, super crappy pour of mine kind of beer. It's dissipating super quickly. It's actually pretty tight compact bubble scenes to all these neurotic kind of crazy stragglers because of how it poured. And it's a rich, dark, and I'm going to tell you right now, icky sticky because everything's sticking together right now. Rich, decadent mess. So yeah, she looks like a big adjunct-laden Imperial Stout, let's put it that way. Get a nose. Oh, I wish I could do that Ollie G thing where he snaps his finger. I'm pretty horrible at it. Yeah, no, it's rich, man. A coffee comes through in your face. You get this nice rich maple syrup. There's that cinnamon in there. It comes off as more of like a kind of soda carbonation kind of thing. I get that a lot on cinnamon. I'm actually starting to dial in the way I kind of perceive cinnamon. I stopped eating cinnamon every morning. That was my thing. I was like, I don't think I pick up cinnamon all that well because I eat it every day. I actually stopped. I switched my breakfast from that to something else. So I haven't been consuming as much cinnamon. So I think it's coming off a little bit more like cinnamon to me now, but it comes off as more of like a soda vibe, like a little bit of Coca-Cola vibes on top of that maple syrup and coffee. Coffee, maple syrup, beer, cinnamon. That's how it lays in this one. And it smells pretty damn nice. It smells like, you know, it smells like breakfast. Delicious, delicious pastry breakfast. Cheers. That's a lot of cinnamon. It's nice. I like it. I like it to the very end. I think the cinnamon gets a little bit too heavy-handed towards the end. Nice mouthfeel. It's not going to be confused with thick. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. The beer actually gets a little bit overshadowed by all those adjuncts. I thought it was going to hold up to it based off of how the nose came off. But there is a nice rich roasted malt to it. But that roasted malt kind of carries into the coffee and they kind of merge together. But the coffee's so much bigger that you just kind of lean mentally really heavy on the coffee. Yeah. The cinnamon, like I said, it lingers and it gets pretty heavy towards the end. But each additional sip you take, that cinnamon isn't as overpowering. So it kind of finds its own level. And then you get that soft, sweet maple syrup throughout the whole thing, which I think is probably the coolest portion of it. Because it's there from beginning to end, and it ties the whole beer together. It's not overpowering, but it's very present, where you almost, like, forgot, like, when I was talking about things, I almost forgot to talk about it. But it's not ignorable, but it's not over the top. And I think it works perfectly well in this beer. Let's add that sweet component, because I think you're getting a lot of bittering here. I think you're getting bittering from the roasted malts. I think you're getting bittering from the coffee. And I think that cinnamon's coming off a little bit kind of dry and powdery to where that cinnamon adds that sweeter kind of component to it. Kind of adds that additional dollop of balance that just kind of makes the beer work better. I like it. I think it's fun. Listen, it's a little kid-sized banger of an 11% adjunct laden stout. And I think it's tasty as fuck. A little bit too heavy-handed on the cinnamon. I can, in the grand scheme of things, if I own a brewery, try to go a little bit less on the cinnamon, but I think it's a little picking little nits on that one, and overall, it's a pretty damn tasty beer. Done. That's all I have. I don't think you need much more. Short beer, short review. So let's talk about it. One of the better adjunct stouts I've had as late. Definitely worthy of being in the conversation. I've had ones that have been better. Excuse me. It's making me burp. I've had ones that have done me better, and it's quite nice, and I dig it, so it's definitely worthy of being in the conversation, but it's not number one. I don't even know what number one would be. I have to think about it. That's what the end of the year is for. Value and availability, no idea. Chuck, let us know, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like all those adjuncts, if you like your coffee, your maple syrup, and all that stuff, but you're a fan of cinnamon, you're definitely going to get a heaping helping of this in there, and if you like just like fun beers, and if you like tiny little baby hands, look at this thing. I fucking crush it in the dust like I'm a monster. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little itty bitty beer. A big beer in an itty bitty can. How about that? Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.